Hey everyone, it's the Collector 27. Haven't done an action figure review in a while, but after taking about a year from YouTube, I'm back with a brand new action figure review. So, we are going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Spider-Man 2099 from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Let's take a look. Alright, so for accessories, he comes with his masked head, obviously. Let's see if the camera will focus. And there is this really nice texture all across the suit, which we will get into some more of the sculpted details later in the video. He comes with an unmasked head of Miguel O'Hara, and the paint on it is really good. The facial expression, in my opinion, could be better. The hair sculpt is nice. There's not a lot to complain about. He comes with two of these, I don't know if they're really wrist communicators or like multiversal watches, Spider-Verse watches, but he comes with one that's sized for him and another one which is super tiny, and this one is sized for the SH Figuarts Spider-Gwen, which I do not currently have. Hopefully I will get. He comes with a set of fists, a set of splayed out open hands or like wall crawling hands, and he comes with a set of open clawed hands, and I think these are really cool. So these are the ones that I actually tend to display him with. He also comes with two web effects. They're kind of like these cybernetic holographic webs, which we see him use in the movie for a little bit. I don't really know if you can call them spider webs or more like holographic webs, but they have this kind of like techno-organic look to them, which I really think are pretty interesting. And he comes with a shorter version as well. To be honest, I probably would have liked to have seen him come with two sets of each, because in the past with other SH Figuarts Spider-Man figures, we tend to see two long webs and two short webs. So that's pretty much my only gripe. Along with those accessories, he also comes with the cape that we see him have in the movie. In the movie, I guess it's more like he's able to kind of like, I guess, retract it and kind of like wear it on command, because it kind of like forms out of his suit. It's a pretty interesting accessory. In my opinion, I think this is horrible. The plastic is super stiff, and these points right here are actually pretty sharp, and there is absolutely no like flexibility to the cape. In the past with other SH Figuarts figures that have capes like Doctor Strange and Thor, where they've given them plastic capes, it's pretty much the same like hard shell type of material. But I think this one does not work, especially since there are these tattered like edges, and these with any amount of pressure are bound to snap off. Like if I were to drop this right now, these would probably break because they're so thin and brittle, which is strange because on the figure, these like arm blades, they have a little bit of bend to them, so they're not as brittle. But this cape, this cape is horrible. This is probably the worst part of the figure, and I'm not even gonna show this for the rest of the video because I think it's just really ugly looking, and this is not at all how I'm gonna have them displayed in my collection. So yeah, we could probably put this back in the box and it will never be seen again. So okay, for the paint and sculpt on the figure, I actually think it's really good. I know I keep saying really a lot, but I feel like this figure is really detailed. The sculpt on here is I almost said really again, but it is really detailed. It may not be 100% accurate to what we saw in the movie, but like with most figures that are based off of animated properties, I think it's hard to translate an animated form into a figure form or a physical form with such a complex design. But the sculpt is Very detailed. He has this sculpted pattern all over his suit in the red and blue areas, which I think gives it a little bit of, I don't know if it's exactly like a shading in some areas, but it gives it a little bit of depth to the sculpt. And you can see that they continue that onto the hands, the neck, and even on the neck of the unmasked head on the, I guess where like the cloth part would be. They even painted the bottom of the feet the red color, which they're supposed to be. I really can't imagine any other paint that would make this guy better. Maybe if he was like black light reactive or like UV light reactive, kind of like how Hot Toys was going to do their version before they switched it to a cloth suit because everyone complained about it. Theirs was kind of like this. It had sculpt. If I'm correct, I believe the lines were not kind of like, these are kind of like lifted. They're not indented into the suit. Like some Spider-Man figures, you see that the lines are sculpted in and they're indented into the figure. When this one has like risen, like the line work is, you can actually feel it. It's not indented into the figure. But I think it would have been kind of cool because we do see him in the movie. He kind of has this like glowing effect around like the blue and the red. But other than that, I think the paint is really good. All of it came out really clean. If I get up close onto the camera here, there's like no bleed over from the red into the blue, which I always appreciate. And I was kind of worried about these shoulders because I believe the blue, I don't know if it's blue plastic with red paint. I believe it's blue plastic with red paint. But when, I'll get into the articulation after, but bending in the shoulder like this, I thought they were going to get chewed up because that tends to happen with Marvel Legends figures, but I haven't had any issues with this guy, and I've been posing him around a ton. He has been kind of like a pocket fig for me. He hasn't even made it up onto my Spider-Verse display. But yeah, even just standing there, he looks really cool. Like kind of like menacing, but he's not a bad guy. So he just looks really cool. Like even in a vanilla pose, just standing there, he just has like this like kind of like attitude to him, and that looks really cool. I think that's really cool. All right, for articulation, I do have to start off by saying that I did do the modification for the ab crunch right here. Let me see if I can actually pop this off without like moving the camera. There you go. But if I get in close here, you can actually see that this ball joint right here, this was actually upside down. So there's this like mushroom kind of disc around the peg, and this was the bottom in this bottom portion of like the ab area. So this ball joint was actually flipped the other way around, and I wasn't able to get any movement out of him. He would not bend over at all. He would not, he had no ab crunch whatsoever. So some people were cutting and shaving down this disc right here, so that way you'd be able to move it around. I didn't want to do that because some other collectors in the action figure community were saying all you have to do is just flip this around and you'll be able to get some ab crunch out of him. So that's exactly what I did without damaging the figure. So I always look for a non-destructive way to modify figures before I have to customize anything. It's very rare that I customize an action figure, especially in SH Figuarts, in a destructive way. Anyway, so let's go up here to the top of the neck. Another thing I did, actually, is if you pop the head off, well, first of all, for some reason, SH Figuarts has been in this thing. Let's see if I can get a focus. The neck peg is a skin tone, and so is the port inside of the head sculpt. This is not even the first time that we've seen this. The SH Figuarts Andrew Garfield figure also has the same thing, which is really strange to me. Most of the time, it's like red or blue, because it's a Spider-Man figure. Why is the camera not focusing? I'm having to like manually do this now. Anyway, but yes, I flipped around that peg, so now he's able to look up even more. He was able to look up before, but all you have to do is, let's see if I take this off again. There's a bit of a curve to the peg. And if you lean that, it was curving this way. It was curving forward for some reason. But if you twist it around and pull it back, you'll be able to get more movement out of the head. So now he can look up without any problem, which is cool for any sort of like diving position, wall crawling positions, stuff like that. Hello? Camera, would you like to focus? Anyway. But yeah, the neck movement's really good. You get all sorts of movement. He can look up that much. He could look down. The cool thing about SH Figuarts is you always have a good amount of head tilt, which is nice. Which is something I feel like Marvel Legends is trying to do now that they're adding that double, like, dumbbell joint in their necks, which, in my opinion, is not as good as the old, like, ball and disc joint. But anyway, let's see. For the shoulders, he has some really nice butterfly joints that you could get him bending all the way forward, where he can actually, like, cross his arm over his chest, and you can extend these blades. Do be careful. These can break. Like I've said, there's a bit of flexibility to them, so they're not going to break super easily, but with enough pressure, they will snap. His arms go out that far, so almost at a little bit past 90. So, like, very, very little bit past 90. That's like a 92 degree angle. No, I don't know. He has double jointed elbows, which go past 90 degrees also. Double jointed elbows are always supposed to do that, so that is a good sign. And he has the standard ball joint kind of setup at the wrist, where depending on which way you face it, you can have it going in and out or up and down. So move it as you wish. Like I said, I fixed the ab crunch. Before, he couldn't move at all. Now he can move a lot more, which is nice. So he does bend forward about that much. Let's see. As for the legs, let me just move his arms out of the way. You do get that weird SH Figuarts cross joint, which a lot of people complain about because it gives him articulated butt cheeks, which is really strange. But on some figures, it's more noticeable than others. At this point, if you've been collecting SH Figuarts for a while, you pretty much know that this is the setup, which is strange because that was not always the case. Like, on their SH Figuarts, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, and, like, Doctor Strange figures, they do not have this type of setup, only for the Spider-Man, which is strange to me because on those other figures, you can get some good articulation out of their legs without that weird, like, underwear-looking joint. But anyway, because look, even with that joint, his leg does not go all the way up unless you bring it out and you kind of, like, set it at an angle and kind of have to, like, swivel the thigh a little bit. But in saying that, his leg does go up that far. They go back. Oh, they actually do go back pretty far. So he can kind of do like a little bit of like a splits there, which is nice, but they go back more than they go forward. His legs go out that much, which is not a ton. Like, even when, yeah, they go out that much. Which you don't really need him doing the splits, but, you know. Anyway, he does have a thigh swivel, and he has double jointed knees. He cannot kick his own butt. And then, of course, at the ankles, you have that type of ball joint as well. So they go down that much. They can move up quite a bit. And, of course, if the camera ever decides to focus and be nice to me, he does have toe articulation, which is really nice. So he is actually very, very articulated. You know, normally this is where I would, like, edit the video and then do size comparisons, but I actually have the figures right next to me that I want to do size comparisons with. So let's just focus this real quick. Here he is next to a standard Marvel Legends Spider-Man. This is the Marvel Legends Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man. This is not the Target exclusive, but this is the first version from 2022. I believe that's when that came out. And as you can see, he is big. Spider-Man 2099 is a big Spider-Man, which, you know, he is supposed to be in the movie. He's very bulky, very buff. But I do not have the Marvel Legends Spider-Man 2099, if anyone was curious. I did not want to get it. I did not think that figure looked good at all, just because the lack of paint and the lack of accessories, pretty much. And the lack of articulation, too. It was just really, really bad. I feel like that whole wave was missing a lot of articulation and paint. The best figures out there were probably Gwen, the Spot, and Miles Morales, which I skipped on those two, but I did get the Spot. So let me bring him in here for another Across the Spider-Verse comparison. So here is the Spot, And again, 29.9 is taller. But again, that's okay because he is supposed to be taller. Spot's kind of dusty. But let's just set them there. They're both standing. Spot has trouble standing for some reason because his feet are like super small. But anyway, that's about how they stand up next to each other, which I think that is a pretty good size comparison there. Size difference, I should say. What do you guys think? I feel like that's pretty much how they were in the movie. We never saw them together, but I imagine we will see them kind of fight against each other in Beyond the Spider-Verse. Except Spot will be in his like Ultimate Edition, version of himself. As for another Spider-Verse character, here we have the Sentinel Peter B. Parker, which I have not done a review on. At least I don't think so. I don't remember. It's been a while. Actually, no, I did not do a review on him. So if you want me to do a review on him, let me know in the comments. He is the real version, not the knockoff. Let's see if I can actually get them standing. That'd be nice. I've been having to hold all these characters because they just don't want to stand. Yeah. Well, I got Spider-Man to stand. Okay, I got 29.9 to stand. I did. All right, let's go. But yeah, that is their size comparison next to each other. I do think the Peter B. Parker does run a little bit small, but I feel like I can make it work anyway. So there we go. Size comparisons back to back. Yeah. All right. So let's give this guy a final rating. All right. So for my final, I guess, rating of this guy, I give him an A+. I would say it's probably a 9.5 to 10 out of 10 for me. I love the character. I love Spider-Man 2099 from the comics. Excuse me. I loved him in Across the Spider-Verse, and I know he'll be great in Beyond the Spider-Verse. If I had to give him just a couple of gripes, I would say, let me see if I could bring the unmasked head back in here. I'm not going to put it on him. The unmasked head is not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. I wish they gave him a different facial expression because the paint is good. But realistically, I am going to be keeping this head sculpt on Spider-Man 2099 because that's how I'm going to have him pose. I'll probably have him something pose like this, maybe a little bit better than that. I think these web effects are really cool. Normally, I don't like SH Figuarts webbing. It looks just weird to me, but I think since this is not supposed to be an organic web, or like, I know some Spider-Man webs are not organic. Don't come at me in the comments saying, oh, Spider-Man doesn't have organic webs. That's only Tobey Maguire. But you know what I mean. They're not supposed to be just the regular spider white-looking webs. These are supposed to be like tech-like, holographic web type things, kind of like an extension of his suit. They're not webs that he produces even out of web shooters. Anyway, but I think these look really cool. I would say I do wish he had some more. Maybe, he didn't really swing, but maybe some more kind of like web-looking effects. Because at a price point of about $120 to $130 retail, I'm not counting the aftermarket price of people who scalp. I'm just counting retail price. I do think he's worth it. I think he is such an improvement, so much better than the Marvel Legends one, obviously. That's why I had to pick this guy up. He's been one that I have been posing quite a bit, and I can just look at, and I'm like, dang, that's a good-looking figure. And nowadays, it's kind of a rare thing, because usually good-looking figures are hard to come by. But this guy is really cool. I like him a lot. He's a lot of fun to pose. Like I said, just especially, with easy mods of just, switching that dumbbell joint, just turning it around, and flipping the ball joint or the dumbbell joint in the neck. With those easy mods, I think it makes the figure so much better. Like I said, they're non-destructive mods. You're not going to ruin the figure. You're just flipping it around, and it's pretty easy to do. So I feel like the good definitely outweighs the bad. The only major gripe that I would just say that I absolutely hate, that I cannot look past, is the cape. That cape is just horrible. That's why I'm not going to pop out this piece. That is where the cape would go. But I'm not going to be using the cape at all. That piece is staying in there. And plus, he hardly used it in the movie. He just kind of used it like when he would enter through like the portal, and then he would just retract it, and then during all kind of like the fight scenes and stuff, he looked more like this. So this is how I'm gonna have him on my display anyway. Now, if Mafex were to make one, or Sentinel, the brand that made this Spider-Man, then that would be quite the competition. I'd be curious to see who would make a better one. I feel like Sentinels would probably be too small because they tend to be a little bit undersized. Mafex, the main thing that's, that's against Mafex, against their brand, is the fact that they do tend to have some QC issues when it comes to their figures. But we'll just have to see what the future holds. Maybe whenever I post this video, maybe Mafex will announce one, or by the time you're seeing this, maybe Mafex has already had theirs out. Maybe I've already bought in it. I don't know. But as of right now, as of whatever today is, February 1st or 2nd, I don't know what today is, of 2024. Yeah, also I'm late with this review. I've had this guy for like over a month. I've had him since like beginning of December. But anyway, I love this figure. I highly recommend it. If you can afford it, get it. If not, find a way to afford it. No, I'm just kidding. Do what you want. This is just my opinion. You can have your own opinion. Some people I know say he didn't come with enough accessories, or he's too expensive. And yeah, SH Figuarts has raised their prices, but I think that this is one of the good ones from as of recent, where there's not a lot of gripes. Like for me, I know I'm kind of rambling right now, but for me, the SH Figuarts Green Goblin that they came out with has too many QC issues and too many inaccuracies, where this guy looks good on an Into the Spider-Verse shelf or just a comic Spider-Man shelf. You can kind of pass for both because he has just a really unique and really cool look to him. So I recommend him. If you buy him, that's up to you. But for me, I give this guy an A+. I like the figure. Now, like I said, just be careful with the cape. If you have this figure, you know that cape kind of sucks big time. But other than that, I really like this figure. It's good. Thumbs up. But anyway, that's the end of the review. Man, it's been kind of interesting having to do reviews again. I kind of forgot what it was like because I've been focusing on my TikTok, which, by the way, if you haven't already, go follow me on TikTok. If I'm not super lazy and I do edit this video and do all the edit and cool stuff, my TikTok will be right here. If not, it is the exact same name as my YouTube channel. So don't forget to like this video, comment, and subscribe, of course. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and that's pretty much all I have right now. And my username is the same everywhere. So thank you guys for watching. Peace.